Now everybody say bootsy. We want bootsy. Now everybody say bootsy. We want bootsy. Drop the bomb on the Southwest crew. Drop the bomb. Drop the bomb. Now Southwest crew. Now what you gonna do? I want to get into it, man. You know, moving, grooving. Okay. Thank you. Argonite energy, baby. Blue Argonite. Thank you. Well, good morning. Uh, good Monday. Good Monday to one and all. Glad to see everybody. But for those of you who've never watched me before, my name is Big Pontiac, also known as Eight Wind, also known as the Time Lord. So whichever you feel comfortable as me being whatever thought form you need me to be. But I am the holder of the spiritual, infinite creation ball fields and ball games that were created by the Hero Twins. I'm also the Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of the Chocolate Mountaineers on my galactic patio, from Minnesota to the universe. And so tonight is a little different with the beverage. It is clown shoes, mocha sombrero. Look at the art. They have the best art, the best beer can art. That's kind of a play on Rocky, whatever. But they always have the coolest stories on the cans. Um, Tastes a lot like the Imperial Stout I just had. Um, so pop them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. Look at all this amber goodness. You wish you could be me right now. You wish you could be me right now. You wish you could be me right now. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. She just ain't one of them beers you got to put salt on to get ahead. It just naturally is filling up with carbonation. Look at that. And of course, we are smoking still on the Yukon Wolf Evolve Plus. You know, Jamie Foxx said you better blow that shit out. So kind of let me see all who's joined the party. Who is on the Galactic Patio? That's Crazy Sarge. Just had a decent day at the range. Just got done cleaning everything. All right, outstanding, outstanding. Practice always makes perfect for sure. James, what's happening? Tiger Strong. Great, what's going on? It's got to be morning time where you're at too. Unless you're on the coast. If you're on the coast, then probably not. B Brown, what's happening? So, well, thank you, B Brown. Thank you. Lorenzo, my main man from Saipan. Chris Rock. What'd he say? He just slapped the shit out of me. Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. Smooth and light skinned. Goodness, what's happening? Final Four script: Nova, Kansas, Duke, UNC. And, you know, they love to get Dr. Naismith's team up in there. You know, Dr. Naismith was at Kansas. Alchemical, what's happening? Was it? Yeah, it could have been fake because it's another picture that kind of showed like he didn't really hit him and he was kind of laughing when he swung. Will Smith a clown. But brother Ethan. um, hey, everything was happening. Will Smith trying to channel his Tupac. Somebody put a meme and said if it was Tupac, they had Jada and said if it was Tupac, he'd have shot Chris Rock. uh, oh, Chief Mighty TV. Will Smith trying to be Tupac. Yeah, what's that now? They saw Will and Chris been beefing since 2000.
I got a new bumper. All right, what is? I'm guessing it's JBL something something. Yeah. Like JBL Spring too or something.
Probably gonna, yeah.
Oh, it's the loud.
OBT, no.
Is it popping up?
No, it's not.
Don't think
It'll
you
pop up eventually.
don't think you can connect to it. Think the lost cause, man.
Oh, come on. I want to try at least. I gotta try.
Bro, I can't. I for real can't afford to take that off.
Buzzer beater. Is this the payback for losing that game? Because remember, Carolina had a dude shot a double pump jumper that they helped go in, and then the dude trailed the play, and of course they helped the shot go in. Mother Channel, those of you who've been around long enough, I showed all that, but that could be a possibility too. Very unlikely. I still think it's the scenario with John Wooden. I showing that picture like me seeing that finding that Bacchus with the ram horns Friday night. Well, yeah, I think I found it Friday. I was like, oh, it's definitely for the Rams. UCLA will always be conditioned in blue blood, but to me, Nova replaces UCLA. I'll say in future. I mean, it still ain't been terribly long since they won it. It wasn't just Wooden. Two other coaches have won it since Wooden. I'll say that. I didn't even know the Oscars was on tonight. It was a lot of script there. Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I say it still could be fake too, because he didn't have no swelling, and the follow through looked like he slapped him instead of punched him. Now for some views it looked like he punched him, but the follow through his hand was definitely flat. So, well, at least the ones I saw. So I can't say, I could be wrong, but from what I saw, it looked like an open hand. Like, because when you go through, and remember, he did Ali, but when you follow through, your hand ain't like this. You break your hand if you hit somebody with an open hand. With a soft fist, you break your hand. But so I don't know. Oh, Marcus the Great. I think it was connected to his son's mic for minutes for good now. Could be. I'll say just a little bit about the girls' game. One thing I didn't know that when the women went to four quarters instead of playing the halves like they play, and high schools are kind of mixed. Some high schools, well, I'll say this: a few years ago they were still kind of mixed. I'm trying to think. I haven't been to a high school game in a couple of years now, so I was trying to remember: is it halves or quarters? Because at one point in this state they had switched to quarters, so I didn't watch enough of the game to pay attention. I admit that. But one rule I saw that the girls or the women do, that the women you can call timeout in the backcourt and advance the ball to the hash, to the sideline hash, the out of bound hash. And I didn't know that. And I'm gonna say this. And I've been consistently saying this. All them people mad at that swimmer. All them people mad at that dude swimmer. But ain't nobody mad at all the dudes that play college basketball for the women. It's a lot of dudes that play college basketball. Juwanna Mans. You can't tell me watching them games, again, you can't hide shoulder to elbow. You just can't hide that. And we've had Robin Roberts is definitely a trans person. Now, I'm not hating, but I'm saying Robin Roberts around my age. And I've said this many times before, since they want to pump up Title IX. Title IX had a couple things. It was to make Aunt Bees look like the women you see today, shapely women. We're almost three generations from Title IX. So the women are more shapely. They used to look like Aunt B. The other part is Title IX was for trans athletes, with Robin Roberts being the first star trans athlete. Now, I can't say Shell or Miller. The girl plays Candace Parker. Very suspect. Very suspect. We know the girl over in Russia, Brittany Grimes. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that's not a dude. Brittany Grimes. And I mean, you see it. And I saw it when I went to college. At first, I was thinking, are all these girls, just gay girls, gay women? But as I stayed around the game, watching the game, I was like, nah, these is dudes. As I said, just take Brittany Grimer as an example. A father saw that his son wouldn't be strong enough, but tall enough, and could make it as a girl. And they've done that for 40 years. So ain't nobody mad about that. Ain't nobody mad about that. It becomes obvious. I mean, you telling me that the WNBA is what did Wiggins? What did Wiggins say? She said it was 90%. 90% people gay. And you telling me them ain't dudes in there? So sorry if I missed anybody. Let me get back a little bit. Nothing but truth. What's happening? It's always off. It's always off. I think it's connected to the sun's mic for a minute for good now. All right. Okay, Marcus the Great, thank you for joining me. Brother Lobo. Hey Lobo, like that video I showed, I looked at it. I did not think that the video of the young woman I showed, I did not think the mic was in the ear side I showed. I'll admit that. It showed a quick glance of that ear, and it did not appear like the mic was in that ear, but it did. Like if she was going, I need to think, she was way over here. She did this. This is think. This ain't think. This was almost like I was told to do that. But I'll say in the shot I took, I don't claim that I saw earbud because it did not look like one in the camera angle. That's why I put that in the notes. I was like, the camera angle that they showed, it did not look on that ear, but it didn't mean it wasn't on the other one. But again, she pointed to it. She was like, pfft. So I think that she was told to do that. I think Candace and Miller are women. Okay. I don't know about Candace. I remember, if you remember her brother was a McDonald All-American too. And I don't know. I mean, she has really big hands and she has really big feet, which are traits that men have. But again, we can just like take a measurement when you see her on TV again and just look at the measurements of, again, from the shoulder to the elbow. Men and women are different. Like you die, you see the difference. There's no hiding that. And you can see the difference between men and women. Not saying women can't have long arms, but this has been passed for a long time. Now, maybe they are. Again, Cheryl Miller, I really would think not. As I mentioned before, I met Nancy Lopez, so I know Nancy Lopez is a woman. She ain't that tall, but I mean, she has smaller features. Augustus, maybe. Augustus played for the Timberwolves. Lindsay Lohan, no. Wiggins, no. Maya Moore, no. Who's a big girl that my cousin drafted out of LSU? She's playing with the Timberwolves now. I don't know. Can't think of her name, but she went to LSU. She played with the Chicago Sky because my cousin drafted her first. And this is her last season with the Timberwolves. I mean, this is her last season, period. So I don't know about her. I'm up in the air on Candace being up. Yeah. I'm not gonna step back my words, but I'm saying I could be wrong, and that's okay being wrong. Don Taurasi is a woman. Taurasi, I say no. I say Taurasi, no. Taurasi definitely not. What's the other one? Bird, Sue Bird. As I said before, I did a video a few years ago on their commercial, and Sue Bird stuff back here. That's male pattern baldness. I mean, she had her hair in a bun, and it's way back here. Taurasi the same way. Look at Taurasi when she do her hair back. She the same way. She got male pattern baldness. Now, I'm not saying that women don't get bald, but I ain't really gonna harp on that too much. But hey, Tiger Strong, what's happening? Uh, the fact that they didn't cut off Will Smith when he was yelling, tell me that was fake. Yeah, why didn't they cut him off? That's because normally they don't want cussing, but now TV lets you cuss. So um, and Liz Cambridge, I don't know. I don't know. I guess you're sensitive to that. I don't know about Della that got the commercial. I don't know. Son, what you know about Gematria? Oh, you want to Zach guys? What's happening though? What's happening, son of David? Gematria is real. Oh, I never said it wasn't real. I never said it wasn't real, but it ain't the only way. That's all. That's my thing. Is it ain't the only way. It ain't the only way. Just like saying, it's just the Jesuits. That's some bullshit. It ain't just the Jesuits. That it don't end with the Jesuits. Don't end with them. I mean, they're a part of it, but they ain't the final answer. They ain't. It ain't just that. But I wasn't trying to upset nobody. I ain't trying to upset nobody. Those are possibilities. UCLA haven't won it since '95. Since then, Duke, Kentucky, UConn, Carolina won 3 times each. Nova 2 out of 3 times, winning a national championship. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. They haven't won it since the O'Bannon brothers played with them. God, that was that long ago. Yes, I am responding to Son of Dave. It's real. Oh, sure, sure. I'm not saying it's not. It's not just the Jesuits. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not just the Jesuits. That's my thing. It's not just the Jesuits. It's a whole system that the Jesuits are tied in, and it's good that their names are put out there. But after a while, what you got to look at is the name is just like they put the name the Illuminati out there. I mean, when these people move silently. So when these names is out there, they want them out there. These is the names they want out there. Hey PJ, what is happening? Thank you for joining. uh, Chief says, "What's gematria?" You got to look it up. There's gematria and gematria. It's coding numbers and words. That's what it is. I'm sure you know though. But it's not the only name. And so when you start seeing these names out here and people pushing them names, they want that known. They want that known. So again, it takes pressure off them peoples. It takes pressure off them peoples. Zach used to say it was them peoples, but now he says it's the Jesuits. I say it's them peoples. They're standing behind the wall with the binoculars. New World Order is another term. They won't know. Yeah. So they want this stuff out. That's why when I put that out with Biden, I mean, they would rather go with these names than them peoples. So they want any names but the real name. They don't want the real name. Infinite consciousness. What is happening? Hey, y'all should be. What's happening, Infinite Consciousness? Y'all should be subscribed to him. That brother has a beautiful, beautiful mind, especially the way they knocking off the hip hop people. And he's one of the ones that points out that hip hop is the most dangerous job for brothers in America. So, Infinite Consciousness, welcome. Back to work after a day off. Now everybody talking about Wilt. Yeah. And that's what they want. They want the event to keep living. So yeah. Them peoples, yes. Yeah, Lobo, they throw that out there now, all the quarterbacks. Like they keep saying, Watson got this new deal, but it's civil suits and he might have to go back to the grand jury. Ain't nothing new gonna come out. Love your hat. I got one in burgundy. Seen it in that colorway. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got this when I was in Michigan. The day it came out, I just happened to be in Michigan, and dude was like, "Oh, this is the newest one." So bad. But I really don't have a lot of like my best friend got me my first ever. I never had a visitor's hat before, and my best friend picked me up a visitor's hat when he was in Atlanta. So, and my best friend is him and his family is over in Hawaii. Yeah, why not? Pop artists a little softer, safer. Yeah, why not? And yeah, and I mean that's assaulting person. Is this gonna be charges? Is it? Uh, is it gonna be charges out there against him? That was what I thought too. Assault. Could it be assault? Could really be. The Browns still going to trash even with him. Yeah, it was like I don't know. He was in a trash situation no matter what. It was definitely a humiliation ritual. I mean, we see that. We see that time and time again. But see, that's the difference. Like they can take a year off a quarterback, and it ain't gonna hurt him. They took that year away from Adrian Peterson, and they might as well have taken his career away. He was at his peak. He was what 3-4 yards from breaking Eric Dickerson's record, and then the next year he don't play. Do you know what that does to a running back? The timing, and yes, granted, it's scripted, it's fixed, but even the fixed has timing to it. Even the fixed has timing to it, and for a running back, that was a death wish, and that's they said he wasn't good with his money, and got a bunch of children's. I mean, this man still tried to play last year, and you could see he didn't have it. I mean, I remember seeing Gil Sayers try to play after both knees was repaired. Just didn't have it. I mean, you ain't quick. You just a straight ahead runner. And did you see when the Titans took him in? He didn't have any bounce to his step. He didn't try to get low. He was just straight up. So I mean, he just wasn't effective. Couldn't hit the hole as quick. But I agree, the Browns gonna be trash. Browns will be good. They gave a defensive and online running back and sent him, but scripted could be bad. I still, yeah, I think they're gonna be bad. Hey, brother, the MacBone Files. It looks staged. Yeah, staged definitely. Hey, MacBone, what is happening? Thank you for joining me. The Peacocks would have won if they would have had Colton in the Peacock suit instead of Will. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let me see that I didn't really mind. The games were so boring. But I think with the St. Peter's game, the note I made is you saw almost what it looked like a Division II school playing a Division I school. I mean, you saw the truth. They turned off the baskets, and that's why I did that short. What did they say? Looked like it was a lid on the basket. And what happened to every other game they played in? They got them early threes. They used the same thing they did for Steph. Get all them early points, keep them in the game. And as the script keeps going, and the script and the pressure, but didn't do that tonight, did they? It showed. What you saw was it really showed tonight more than any other game what would happen if them teams kind of played regular. They wouldn't have a chance. And as I said last night about the games yesterday, it showed you without manipulation how well they don't shoot. With everybody shooting them deep, it showed you how well they don't shoot. If they don't help people, it shows you a lot of dudes shooting all them threes suck. And you saw the same thing yesterday. Now the Kansas game was good up until halftime. It was good up until halftime. And then they pulled out from them, which they should have. But Miami plays a tough conference. Miami didn't hit shots either. That one player was working out on him in the first half, though. That number 23 was working out on him. But I guess the two scenarios I see right now is if Carolina beats Duke, then Carolina will beat Villanova. That'll be what scenario is. But if Duke wins, of course, Duke is going to get to John Wooden, no doubt. Um, yeah, I just see that this being Duke's Coach K. They're going to get this to Coach K. And the thing is, this is going to get a lot of attention because all the teams are elite teams. So, but you have to see that they're just not as good, not as good, and them not shooting threes as well shows you they're just not as good of shooters as we see, just not as good. Remind me of the first round of the NBA. Yeah. Did I miss anything else? Uh, he said, "Don't do it to the Browns." Yeah, they need the technology. Exactly, they need the technology. Everybody ain't gonna consistently shoot well. Everybody ain't gonna come in the game starting shooting 7 out of 8 like we were seeing, and that's what helps St. Peter's. That is the equalizer in some of the games. Is the technology help threes? I'm seeing it in the women's game. I keep saying women's game. Yeah, I think Duke definitely wins. It's going to be John Wooden. It's got to be the John Wooden. I just don't see how they're not going to let him go out the same way John Wooden went out. I mean, I just can't see it. I mean, he got a better team than John Wooden. And I want to say they beat Marquette, but I didn't look it up today. Maybe y'all can look up who John Wooden's last game it was against. But he had Marcus Washington and Marcus Johnson and Richard Washington. And they was okay. But if they played Marquette was stacked. Butch Lee, and then they won it the next year, I believe. They let Marquette win it in, I think it was 75. Butch Lee, maybe 77. Maybe I get the years mixed up. No, 75 would have. No, let me see. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that was about right. Because I think David Thompson won 73, maybe. North Carolina State beat Ewing, or not Ewing, but but Bill Walton. Somewhere in there, Bill Walton was interrupted. uh, I see Duke beating Kansas. Coach K's first game was against Kansas. That's a good catch. Did y'all peep that out? First game was against Kansas, and that's how they do it. And I mean, with the 13s connecting too, you know, scripted for Coach K. Yeah, definitely think that. But I say it's the John Wooden. They did that with John Wooden. Why wouldn't they do that with Coach K? St. Peter's would have been beat North Carolina had the game been on NBC or Peacock. That's a good point. That's a good point, Lorenzo. That is funny, Lorenzo. Definitely funny. Duke's players seem very confident. They do. They do seem very confident. I'll agree too. They seem very confident. And the one big guy, their freshman, is gonna go pro. You can see he could play a 3. He could play a 4. More of a 4 size, but could play either. Seems to move well. He fits the script good. I mean, Chet Holmgren, I mean, I still it's so funny how he fit the script. And I saw early in one of their games how he was playing script ball. And it was like, okay, he's already, getting ready for his NBA career because he'll be rewarded. Because normally there's very few players that win the college games that turn around and win the pro games. They just don't reward you like that unless you Bill Walton, which, again, he should have probably never won an NBA championship. Kareem. Jamal Wilkes, once known as Keith Wilkes. But you just don't see it a lot. And as I was saying, go back to when Arkansas beat Duke with Scotty Graham. Look at what happened to Scotty Graham. He hit the game-winning shot. He got fucking cut in the CBA. Look it up. CBA. Didn't even get drafted. Pistons cut him, but he got cut in the Eastern League, which was also called the CBA, which Isaiah Thomas destroyed for the G League. It was a stronger, older league existed already. Isaiah Thomas put that deal together to buy all 10 teams, and then he bankrupted all of them. It's a Sports Illustrated article that tells it. But he did it for the NBA. The NBA wanted him to do that. He was supposed to uh, put money towards all the teams to keep all the teams afloat. No, because the NBA did not own the CBA. The CBA was older than the NBA. It was one of the first continuous pro leagues in the country, and so Stern did not want that. Um, I knew when the Tar Heels beat Duke the last time during the season, they were going to set up UNC Duke championship rematch. Yeah, could be. Like they're saying, it's the first time they've ever faced each other, so they're gonna get monster ratings. The ratings probably gonna be better than the Super Bowl. Uh, the crazy thing is that people thought St. Peter was going to beat North Carolina. That's to show a lot of people that they scripted but don't know the script. Exactly. They didn't have a chance, but they shouldn't have had a chance for anybody. That's without manipulation. I'm thinking the same. Yeah, definitely. And I think we all did. We talked about that before. When that happened, that was just setting things in line for Duke to get pushed over, pushed over, or reciprocated by winning. Um, Marquette won at 77. Okay, they won at 77. But I want to say that Butch Lee and Tatum was there. Yeah, yeah, they were still 74s. Yeah, Earl Tatum and Butch Lee must have been there in 74. I'm pretty sure. I think that was so they won in 77. Yeah, I think they lost. And you guys can look that up for me too. Um, who did UCL or who did John Wooden's last coach game? Who did they beat in the championship? But I thought it was Marquette. But I could be wrong. But he won, and they weren't picked to win. That was one of his weaker teams. You know. Let's see. To me, it's like football. Alabama beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. Georgia got revenge when they beat Bama in the national championship game. Yeah, that was definitely a good script. Yep, absolutely. UNC. Yeah, exactly. It looks like the same kind of matchup, and again based on getting the same kind of ratings and everything. So yeah, very good observations. Probably very very close to what's going to happen. Uh, I would be extremely surprised. Coach K don't get it. I really would, because it's so much like when John Wooden almost because John Wooden coached about 40 years. John Wooden coached in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. He coached 4 decades. Now, exact number of years you might have to look up, but John Wooden, again, what he meant to basketball, and I believe I think the Final Four, making it to the Final Four was tied or surpassed. I think Kansas passed UCLA or something like that in the Final Fours, but not winning. And again, almost like when you look at Boston, when Boston won from 60 to 60, other than the Wilt one, they won 8 in a row. So they won 59 because I want to say Bob Pettit and Atlanta Hawks, or no, St. Louis Hawks won at 58, I think. So very similar. UCLA had a very similar run. And as I said before, from watching Tommy Curtis play, UCLA made the Final Four more popular than an NIT. Because, as I mentioned, Jalen Rose's dad, Jimmy Walker, was probably the last big NIT where Jimmy Walker turned it out. And I want to say Jimmy Walker went to Providence. Don't quite remember. But ever since then, that was one of the last. Because, like, when Oscar Robertson played, he looked more forward to going to play in the NIT. One of his college years, they went to the NIT instead of going to the NCAA. And they won it. Cincinnati won the year after Oscar Robertson left. So they still had a good team. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But the ratings are going to be off the charts because of all the teams. But again, it just shows you Without help, teams couldn't win. And one thing you have to understand about the three-point shot is it's easier for them to script with the three-point shot because the three-point shot is a big equalizer. And as PJ has said several times, they're trying to get rid of the big man. They really have. Yeah, the Hawks' last only championship was in '58 when they won in St. Louis. St. Louis, yeah, St. Louis. Bob Pettit. I said before, they talk about what a good defensive player Bill Russell was. Bob Pettit dropped 50 on him. 50. Bob Pettit dropped 50. And so Wilt wasn't the only one dropping 50 on Bill Russell. And they tell you Bill Russell was so great defender. Watch when Bob Pettit dropped 50 on him. The first time Wilt Chamberlain faced Bill Russell, he scored 45. So you don't tell me that Bill Russell was that great. Not to say that Bob Pettit couldn't go. Bob Pettit could probably play today. A little slow, but had an outside shot. Gonna rebound. Scripted technology, bullshit, absolutely. That keeps them in the games. Moon Rock. They'll finish with 33 wins, and it'll be Coach K's 103rd tournament win. Yep. Yes, Providence. Jimmy Walker went to Providence. Yeah, that was the last year. I think that was 67. I think Jimmy Walker was drafted by the Pistons in 67. And, never. And like this is what I don't understand about Jalen and his mama's story. Jalen said they never did anything. In Jalen's life, they hounded you for child support. In Jalen's life, it didn't matter what kind of job you had. They could take money out for child support. So his mama never went after Jimmy Walker for child support? That would be bullshit. I mean, I couldn't imagine that she knew it and she just unless she blamed somebody else. But so it makes some of the story. Even if Jimmy might have not dealt with him, back in his lifetime when he was young, they would have went after him over state lines. Like during my lifetime, if my father left the state, wasn't nothing they could do. Years ago, that's all a dad had to do is move out the state. But that stopped in the 70s. That stopped. Where they'd come get you and take your money no matter where you lived. LG, what's happening? Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock is the most hilarious I've seen. What's happening? I was wrong. He would finish on 34, but Kansas equals 43. Okay. Yeah, I always thought Jalen's story sounded fishy. Now, I know now how much support she could get, don't know. And it is a fact that Jalen's got raided in dope houses. Remember when they played Illinois, they kept saying crack house, crack house. I don't know if y'all can watch that. They showed that on the 30 for 30. And, his story was he did sell rocks. Everybody knew it. It was his house that got raided, and one of his guys took it, but it was known that he was selling rocks. So, but to say he was dirt poor as he was, again, Ed Martin took him under his wing at a very young age. And Jalen used to talk like Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp talked like this side of his mouth. And that's a Detroit thing, too. I'll say that. That's kind of a Detroit thing to talk out your mouth. But Jalen has since taken care of that. But he used to talk out the side of his mouth like that. He would talk like Sean Kemp would talk like out the side of his mouth. I don't know if y'all remember that about Sean Kemp. In the Villanova right now, it's like the Warriors back in 15-19. A team that just came out of nowhere to become a championship caliber team. But they played in the Big East that's against good competition. So I don't know if they came out of nowhere. They've always been competitive. They made Jalen cry on TV for sacrificing his mother. Yeah, definitely. Because that's the price of fame. Yeah, they lose the championship. They will finish 33-3. This is why I'm hanging with Kansas and would finish 33-7 too. Also, both teams 40 games. That's a good point. Jalen's teeth was to be. Oh yeah, Jalen said. I remember when Jalen was one of the first basketball players I ever noticed wear a mouth guard. But when he got them things put on top of his teeth, you got to wear mouthpiece. And so, yeah, his teeth were jacked up. He had bad teeth too. He definitely had bad. He had bad acne. He had bad acne and he had bad teeth. And he said that when he got his bonus money, he got $20,000 bonus, or he said the first 20,000 he went and got his teeth fixed. But yeah, watch, and that's kind of a Detroit thing to talk out the side of your mouth. It's like, you almost whispering to somebody, so you kind of just, talk out the side of your mouth. So that's kind of a Detroit thing. They got, they got caught in the crack house. It was Jalen's house, no doubt. I mean, I don't know if he physically owned it, but everybody knew that he was slinging rocks out of that. That was kind of his little thing. Bet you don't see that in BMF or none of them Detroit shows, none of them drug movies that they had that young boy selling drugs. Bet that ain't gonna be in no drug show. Just like they ain't putting Huey Newton character robbing people in South Central. You see Will Smith? Yeah. So I saw that shit. My son been showing it to me all night. Yep, we talked about that a little bit. Could have been fake. It's hard to say. They love when people have something to talk about. They love it. They love when things keep, that's all the talk. And so, what do they say? All publicity is good publicity. So if you're talking about it, they dig it. So that's what everybody doing. Facebook can't leave it alone, and it's a parrot spell again. Do you see how easy it is for people to parrot something? And everybody thinking like, wow, it blew our mind. We like, okay, he slapped him, so what? Well, you don't usually see that every day, but these are actors. Oh, they're actors. Yes, they're actors. So it could be some cap to it. We could see, but I like the way he cussed him out. I mean, when we say, I'll say this for the event, it showed manhood. It showed a protector, which we rarely get to see in melanated people. But it was like somebody else said, if it would have been a European said that shit and made that joke, would he have went up there and slapped a European or whatever he did? Very doubtful, because that's automatically assault in front of everybody. There's no way you could say he didn't assault him. Now, again, lawyers could tie it up, say he aggravated him. So, kind of keep both eyes on it. Apparently, Will and Chris been beefing. Yeah. I saw that before. They didn't like each other. Will's been doing his Oscar Peach. We're fake. Will's tear. Oh yeah, I thought so too. Oh, there's my main man. Conspiracy University. What is happening? How's everything going for you, brother? I hope well. I hope your vibe is high. Everything around you is moving the way you need it to move. And I might have caught a break. We'll see this week if I catch a break. I mean, I don't like to talk about shit because sometimes when you talk about it, you're doomed to shit. That's kind of the way the beast goes. It's like you look at a possibility, and if you start spreading the possibility too much, the shit caves in. But on the other hand, it's like you have to prepare if it does come. So I'm kind of like at that thing. If it comes through, then that's cool. If it doesn't come through, I don't really lose. It's like what I'm trying to do, I can only gain. So we'll see. But that's kind of how it goes and kind of how you got to do it. You got to see through it. The Magna vid you posted today was nuts. Oh yeah, we've caught that before though. We've caught it like that before. I think on my channel last year I caught something like that, but definitely on the other channel too. A European man tried to kiss him. Oh yeah, he backhanded that dude. He backhanded him a couple of times. He gave him a double. He gave that like. But yeah, he gave him a like. It's like, hey. And then I guess it was good to him because he gave him another one. He's like slapped him once, like get off me, slap. And then he gave him another one, slap, for good measure. He's like Richard Pryor would say, take that with you. He's like, take that with you. That's what Richard Pryor would say. He'd imitate Ali. Take that with you. My children grew up on that. Oh, as we hit each other, say, take that with you. Almost choked on the beer. You guys been looking at me. I've been drowning on the beer. Like, college player that didn't make the league exposed the system. Now, how many times do I got to give this speech? How many times do I got to give this speech why they don't expose the system? My college teammates, I have been friends with for 40 years. 40 years. I talked to my teammate a couple days ago, one of my teammates a couple days ago. These are not fly-by friendships. These are lifetime friendships. I don't know if any of y'all noticed, before the Kansas game, one of the Kansas European players hugged the referee. Did anybody else see that? One of the Kansas players, before the game, when they were in the layup line, hugged the referee. Did anybody else see that? What you have to understand is in some cases, these people have known each other from, could be elementary school. The elite players, they all know each other from AAU and camps, invited to camps. You got the Nike camp. You got the Adidas camp, which is Sonny's camp. You got Jordan's camp. These are, even when a person transfers, when you go from one college to another, these are just more people you know. And so these people, it doesn't always mean that they don't go to pros. There are so many other things that open up for you. And so you do not want to close these doors because, as I said before, you play for a coach, you cool for a coach, you cool with assistant coach, you cool with assistant coach, you cool with athletic director. As all these parts move around, you up for a job. Hey, yeah, it's Tim. You know, so and so. Yeah, I know him real good. I'm trying to do that. Don't say nothing else. I'll talk to him. This goes on your whole life. So why would they ruin that for only a few minutes of attention? You're going to say sports is fixed. They're going to talk about it for a couple of days and it's going to go away. We are talking about the beast machine. It would make a little attention for a couple of days and go away. And then what happens to that person that revealed it? They would destroy him in so many different ways. And then not only destroy him, they would try to destroy his family. You see how they operate? You see how America operates? So this ain't little money we talking about. We talking about big, big money. In every game, they get over $1 million. Do you know what the tournament just did to St. Peter's? What, they won 3 games? 2 games? 3 games? That's $1 million plus a game plus recruiting. How many more years you think that coach gonna stay there? When you saw him take that small team that far. So we're not talking about little business. We're talking about a giant business. And if you think ain't no goons connected to pro sports, college sports, yeah, these tentacles of corruption run very deep when there's money involved. This is why they don't expose it. But on the other part too is, again, this is a lifetime thing that can help you for a lifetime. So why would you shit on it? Why would young people take the risk of shitting on it? They wouldn't. I understand ex-player exposing, but be surely college never could. But it's just so many opportunities that come up in life because you played sports. No, I'm Hollywood, but I have the West Philly in me. Yeah. That's what he claimed, a researcher. I saw that. Oh, you did see him hug that guy. Yeah, he hugged the ref. But I mean, these relationships been years in the making. So dropped the ref clear in the background of the pregame. Yeah, they hugged. The ref sought him out because if you watch the whole scene, They hugged. He sought the player out. Him and the player hugged. He walked forward. The player got back in line. The other ref just walked through the shot. So he sought the player out. He stopped. He called the player's name. The player came over and gave him a hug. They shook hands. And then the brother who ref came right through. He didn't stop for anybody. So I was like, well, they knew each other. They knew each other. Yeah, but that's what you have to look at. It is not for the average person that plays college sport. It's not worth it for your career for a few minutes of people listening, because the machine against you, what you're telling you, for the few ears that it'll open up, you exposing, you're gonna close a lot more ears and doors, because it ain't gonna last long. It is going to be talked about for a few minutes and made to forget. I mean, remember what we saw with Sosa, and we saw with McGuire. Baseball went on strike. What did they let them do? Take steroids, court bats, lighter balls. And America tended to forget, didn't they? Didn't everybody forget? Isn't that what it seemed like? Look at how many years it took hockey to come back. Hockey was almost like nobody cared. I mean, really, the World Series kind of the season, because you remember the World Series during football season, people really could care less about baseball unless you're a baseball fan. So without no World Series and without NHL championship, people didn't care. Remember what the NHL hockey had to do? They showed the streaking puck. I don't know if anybody out there watching enough remembers that. For a while, when the puck would shoot, they would show it streaking. I don't know if I've watched hockey since I was a young boy. So was how hockey was trying to come back. But baseball got hit the hardest because people really didn't give a fuck. Football season, people don't care. But what you saw is with the home runs, which were all scripted. All scripted. As I said before, Mike McGuire, it came back to haunt him when that creatine was in his locker. Because later creatine, they tried it where it's like, well, that's why they really couldn't hurt Barry Bonds. Because they want to say that, this is how they try to change the shit to really put the black X on Barry Bonds. When Barry Bonds played and got tested, he passed. Now they say, well, there was another test. There's more information that, but they didn't expose it at the time. So how can you use that against him years later? You really can't. You really can't. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing him being blackballed, but under the rules, he was okay. Under the rules, he was okay. If I wasn't for YouTube, people would be forgotten. Dwight Smith exposed NFL for being scripted. Of course, the week of the Super Bowl, he talked about the games already knowing the scores. And I mean, it is too many, like Gruden, Tampa Bay. You fire Tony after Tony had a winning record. You fire Tony, and then you trade Gruden, because remember, Gruden was traded from the Raiders to Tampa Bay. You give Gruden that defense, and then you're running a certain offense all year, and then all of a sudden you change it to Gruden's system, Gruden's signal calls, Gruden's hot calls. How does that? And as I said before, a lot of people forget the Raiders center went crazy. The one that makes all the blocking adjustments. You think somebody else that doesn't start is going to know it to go in there and make all the calls? I don't know if a lot of y'all listen when you listen to football. The first thing you hear when the quarterback's right before the quarterback starts, you hear the blocking signals. The center is calling out the blocks because the center is looking at the way it's lined up too. So he calls out the blocking scheme. Now the quarterback will make adjustments. He'll switch his backside, but the center makes the first calls. Like when you're sitting there in a live game, that's what you hear. The center will make the calls to block. And if the quarterback has to adjust, then the quarterback will adjust the blocking. Like if he needs to roll one way, the quarterback will adjust that. But the first calls is the center. A lot of times you see the center, again, when you see what Tom Brady made famous, finding who's Mike. And what that's about is really squaring off the offense. Because a lot of times they try to hide the defenses. And so what Brady was the first one to really do, and everybody does it now, is called who can I run my base blocking, my base scheme off. So by calling who's Mike, that lines everybody up. It's like, okay, they in this, so we have to respond. If that's Mike, then we're gonna respond like this on offense. We're gonna make that adjustment. So that was big too. Them making that center go crazy. And like I said, Stanley Wilson, when I showed that video of Billups dropping the ball, the same route that Russell Wilson threw an interception, Joe Montana threw the same route right to the DB. The DB jumped it the same way, and he dropped it on purpose. He had a chance for Cincinnati. He catches the interception. That's game. But he drops it. He drops it. He drops it. DBs a lot of times have just as good hands as receivers. They're running exact team plays. Was it ran in practice? Yep. John Lynch in that Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, really, if you even look at the one Russell Wilson threw, they show this themselves. They show that when they played in the preseason, there was one play they looked for. When the season they played them in preseason, and they showed New England practicing against that play in preseason, and then you're gonna run that. You ain't changed that play since preseason. Do you understand how it's done? And I ain't the only one. Just like I called the year before, I called when the tight end Gronk. I called Gronk underneath when I did a live of the Super Bowl. I just doing a little film study, and I looked at him when they was on the end zone. I was like, this is the play where Gronk is gonna go underneath. So if I saw it, how didn't that defense see it? I just watched a couple little games of film, and I knew that formation in the end zone, near the end zone, in the red zone, that Gronk was going to run underneath. How could I know that and none of them defenders? And it goes the same way. It goes the same way. I forgot my other point. I talking and forgot it, but it was another it was another scene that maybe I'll remember. But it's like, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. The streaking pucks also proves that the tech is used in sports to follow the puck. It had the system inside the puck. That's a good point. That is a good point. Because that's what it is. It's a delay. I guess they could say, well, it's a delay. But it was the streaking puck. What do you think of Larry Johnson? You talking about the football player that talked? He came on Zach's. I mean, Zach asked the correct question. He said, was any of your games script? And didn't he go to Penn State? Didn't Larry Johnson go to Penn State? And he said, I don't think so, which is a lie. He went to a Big Ten school. Come on. Or maybe, I think they was in the Big Ten even then. So, yeah, when he was in school, he played in scripted games. So, and right then he lied. Right then he lied. When he said he didn't know, he lied. That was all now lie. He knew. He knew. So I don't give much credence to him. He is controlled opposition. Controlled opposition. That cat didn't make a whole lot of money playing. Not a whole lot. So trying to stay relevant, but feeding people enough. Feeding people enough. But not everything. Again, tell the whole story. Tell it all. Tell it all. When you try to explain shit, look at every side. I try to look at the opposite sides and all the other possibilities. But I just know human nature. And like when we started talking in the early games, you can't tell me these teams and these players just shoot so great. It just doesn't happen like that. Everybody doesn't grow up just hitting in big games. In big games, bigger than they played all year. These small little colleges that probably play with a gym of 5,000 people, all of a sudden can go to a gym that play in front of 20,000 people, and they play better than they ever played. I mean, what are the odds of that? You are not used to that. You're not used to that. That's why the little high schools, the people that went to little high schools, it was harder to them to get adjusted to college because the crowds were so much bigger. And so some people, it took them a while before they got used to playing against the college crowds. And in some instances, it's college like Michigan, Clemson. There's college stadiums that's bigger than pro stadiums. I think Dallas is the only stadium that holds over 100,000 people. Michigan holds what, 108, 109? Death Valley holds over 100,000 or 80, 90,000. I think the Viking Stadium holds 77,000. So a lot of these college people are already used to playing against big crowds. But I'm just saying, those little schools ain't used to that. And then all of a sudden they perform their best. I mean, you see right there. And when they turn the baskets off, because the announcer said in the script, they said all the rest of St. Peter's game, they was able to shoot so well to keep them in games. Shoot well early. By them making threes early, they were able to stay in the games. So when the basket ain't turned on for them, like Trey Young in college, I got to say it's professional sports, some ass gear. I definitely agree. And that's why I started watching something else. I started watching Hitler and shit. You know, they got Hitler on every day. So I started watching some Hitler shit. Hitler be on every day. I mean, it's like Hitler is still relevant and shit. What is it, 70, 80 years later? This motherfucker's still on TV every day, and they talking about he's the evilest man that ever existed. If he was so goddamn evil, why are he on every day? Every goddamn day. Hitler be on TV. You would think that they would burn all his films. You would think they would burn all his books. You would think you couldn't get Mein Kampf anymore. You would think they would burn that shit. You can still get it in the English translation. You can find one of the rare ones in German. You can find it in Spanish. So, them peoples control the media. And look at who was the first hero of World War II for the Nazis. And don't forget, Jewish faith people fought for Germany in World War One. And the first hero in World War II of the Blitzkrieg, look who he was. Look on Hitler's staff. And of course, Hitler himself. Some people say he was a Rothschild. But do you see the word they put out there compared to what they show you? You know, the word is different than what they show you. Hey, Wynn, have you seen the documentary about Hitler, the greatest story never told? I don't think so. Maybe. I'll write that down. And if I have, I'll check it out. I have not. I might have. I don't know. Once I start seeing it, I might have. Because Hitler knew something. I think. Well, they didn't kill Hitler. They didn't kill him. As I said, Hitler got a bunch of Hitlers got blowed up. I mean, they would bring a Hitler out and they'd kill him. You can't tell me that the suitcase stopped him from getting blowed the fuck up. You know, SCTV used to say he blew up real good. They had a section where Hollywood stars would blow up. They'd go, he blew up real good. But yeah, that motherfucker got blowed up in the wolf's lair. And it, again, you watch, and it's a bunch of motherfucking Hitlers. As I said, one thing you can compare it to is a bunch of Castros, and the movie of an Iran of Saddam's son. Remember, he liked little girls and killing little girls and shit. Yeah, and how he had a person do plastic surgery to look like him. So it was a bunch of motherfucking Hitlers. Like the last time, if you ever look up the last pictures of Hitler shaking the Hitler Youth, that is not Hitler. That's somebody else. That dude is a little taller too. But that's, I mean, you know, boys of Brazil. You know, boys of Brazil like a motherfucker. They probably took some skeet. They was like, come on, Adolf, you got a skeet in here so we can release your skeet in about 100 years and we can still have these little fucking Hitlers running around. uh, it is on BitChute. It's long, like 8 parts long. Okay, okay. I still think I've seen it. The name is Stephen Bandera, by the way. He's still a Ukraine national hero. Oh, that's his name? Stephen Bandera. And as I was saying last night, Ukrainians, especially Western Ukrainians and Nazis, is still it's a thing. And so we are, as I said, we had 2 Nazi presidents, really 4 Nazi presidents, both Bushes, and both Bushes supported Obama. And the man in now tells you he's a Zionist, and don't think them Zionists wasn't Nazis too. They, but Hitler's driver, Jewish faith, and Himmler kept sending his ass to the Russian front and shit. Then the motherfucker would do some hero shit in the Russian front, and then Hitler would bring the motherfucker back. Himmler kept fucking with him, like the dude boned somebody in one of the cars or some shit, and so he got suspended for a couple months. They made that motherfucker go fight in Russia. That's, you know, how I know people don't remember Hogan's Heroes, but Hogan's Hero, the joke was, if you fucked up with Germany, they would send you to the Russian front, like they already knew you, like you were guaranteed to get killed. And so that's what they kept doing to his driver, but he would go and be a hero and shit, you know. Earned his iron right, you know, the Red Baron, you know, the cross. Hitler had one and shit, you know, he had the iron right and shit, you know. What was the movie called? The Black Max. I don't know if y'all remember that movie about the Red Baron. It's called the Black Max, but I think that was one of the nicknames to get the Iron Cross, you know, the Black Max. George Papard was in that movie, but it was a movie basically about the Red Baron and shit. But Hitler supposedly had one, you know. That's why, you know, it's all bullshit. I mean, Hitler fired the goddamn head of the army. Like going into World War II, he fires the head of the army and then makes himself where he really had no strategy of doing the army. And the biggest part, the biggest lie of World War II is Dresden. I mean, that shows you right there that it's a lie. Because Dresden, they could have killed 400,000 British soldiers and ended the war for them. It would have stopped their ability to wage war with soldiers. They could have captured them all or killed them all. And you believe that story that they was able to bring tugboats around and take hundreds of thousands of men away? And the Germans just was like, man, we going to lunch. Fuck them. We ain't worried about it. And when they tell the story, they say, well, the Nazi motherfucker just didn't, you know, he didn't press it. So that shows you how they script and still kill people in the script. Still kill people in the script. Why don't they let anybody in Antarctica? I'll say this. I'll say this about the Antarctica. Spiritually, it's something over that too, because that's one place that you don't move through really spiritually. And if anybody say they move through Antarctica spiritually, I say they're a goddamn lie. That place is spiritually blocked. That place is spiritually blocked. That's why you don't hear a lot of spiritual people talk about that shit. Whatever's over there, it is blocked in almost every like direction of kind of things. I would almost say a dimensional block on that shit too. But I want to hear Bomber or some of these other motherfuckers say they so spiritual to tell me they can go to that shit. That's just got something over there that's more than just physical. It's some spiritual shit. I'm trying to think of the shit that can go through the ice. It's like not neon, neuron, no. I can't think of. I gotta look that shit up. But yeah. So it's they keeping that from everywhere. With Grand Canyon, why can't we walk through it? Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with you, Antarctica. I agree with you, Antarctica win. Yeah, I mean it's I've tried to like I'll just tell you the difference. I'll tell you the difference. Like for me to go from here, one thing you learn, like even astro traveling, is you can't cheat the ride. And what I mean is, to make it understandable. Okay, so to spiritually, for me to go from here to Chicago, I somewhat have to I somewhat have to follow the land, if that makes any sense. It's like not like Bewitched or I Dream of Genie shit. And I know this was old reference. It ain't just like, you astral travel just like boom. You still have to experience going, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. And so like I'll still spiritually to go to Michigan. And it's another thing that ain't really easy to do too, is water. To astral travel over water, it can be kind of tough too, especially a river or a big lake like Michigan. That is not that's a little difficult too, because there's a lot of magic that's in that water. So I want to hear a motherfucker say that's easy too. That ain't easy. That ain't easy. But to do it on land, you still have to do the trip. Now it ain't gonna take me 10 hours, no, but you still have to do the trip. So I would still at one point see the Chicago lights, move on. So, but I just say that in Antarctica, you seem to hit something up there. Like if you really just center, and it's a lot of different ways, like almost you can fuck with that shit almost Ouija board, like where you put maps out. I mean, they show you this shit in movies. Like when they want to spiritually go places, they put the maps out and shit and say, we need to, and it's almost like that with Antarctica. You put all the maps out and you think, yeah, and it's something there. It's something there. I'll tell you what, create a Ouija board. Create a Ouija board, which again, just take the Antarctica map and create a Ouija board and see if you can get that motherfucker to move. That's anybody can do that. Just get a map of Antarctica. You can use a pendulum, paper clip, little piece of flat quartz, and see if you can get the same kind of movement you can get around the rest of the land. I mean, it's a lot of ways you can do the experiment yourself and see if you find that. I mean, if you better than me, then right on. You could do some shit I definitely can't. It's the same serious secrets up there. Well, something up there. I'll say that. I can't say yay or nay, but it's some kind of energy up there that's serious. I was just dowsing maps in my lucid dream last night. Okay, yeah, fuck with that. Fuck with that and see if you can really move through that. Because if you have any, good luck. Do you ever go back to the gyms or partake you played or just to reflect on the spiritual sense? I haven't, and I haven't been back to A&T. Um, I haven't been back to my high school gym since 15, and it was wonderful feeling the energy. I used to feel my cousins when they played before. I used to feel all that. Yeah, yeah. And I did feel that when Levers that plays with the Pistons, when he was player of the year, and I think that was 15, maybe 16. But that was the last time I was in my high school, and I felt all the energies, and it was wonderful feeling being there. And I even felt like, even though it was winter time, and I looked at the football field, because I had a lot of success in football in high school too, and I felt the energies. But I had been going to my high school gym since I was because my high school was new when I went there. Basically, I think the first year of operations, because I watched my cousin who graduated in 72 or 73. Um, he actually went to the old high school, but the gym was finished. And so they played in the new gym, but they didn't go to school there. And so I think 74 was the first full class. And, by the time I went there in 79, it was still a fairly new school. So it wasn't a whole lot of people that played before me. But a lot of the jerseys was there and stuff, the jerseys my cousins wore, I saw those and was around those lockers that, my cousin that was 3 years older than me, I saw his lockers. But we just playing little league basketball up in there. So, but yeah, yeah. And I would love to go back to A&T and feel the field again. I haven't been back to A&T on the field like 88. I went down there and refed in 2001, but I didn't get a chance. I didn't drive, so I didn't get a chance. My teammates come and we just got drunk at the hotel because I was like, guys, why don't you guys take me back to the campus? And they're like, and they was all coked up and shit. I didn't do no coke, but they was all coked up, but they was sweating and shit. And we just got drunk, we just sat there and got drunk together. So that was cool. I couldn't really press them. That was all right. Just good to see him because one brother, he ain't with us anymore. So it was good to see him. So yeah, I would like to go back. Makes me talking about astro travel yesterday. Oh, your nephew was talking about that. Okay. I mean, listen, be present when they talk about that. Be present. Damn, I was born in '88. You see some things. Yeah, that and I was rolling. I mean, I went back down. I went back there. We flew. Me and my ex flew first class. We rented a nice car. We was down there. We had two new cars, but I was wearing suits where I worked for at the water department in the city. I went up there, saw my old superintendent. I'm all suited up and shit because I had bought some suits in Macy's actually here. And so yeah, I was flossing in front of my teammates and shit. And one of my friends like gave me his house. I'm like, no, I want to get a. He's like, no, I'm not gonna let you stay at a hotel. I'll go stay with my girl. I'm like, no, man, I want to put you out. He's like, no, I insist. He was one of my best friends, but he's like, I insist you stay at my house. And back then he wasn't married or had any children. Yeah, we were a year from my son being born, so we didn't have any children. So I ended up staying at his house. He's like, I insist, man, don't get a hotel. We had reservations. He was like, no, cancel your reservations. You can stay at my house. So end up staying at his house. Yeah, so you're a year older than my son because my son was born in '89. Because I think he'll be 32 this year, maybe. I think he'll be 32. I forget. But yeah, that was the last time. And my last game at A&T was shit 80, 81. Yeah, 81. I played a couple more football games after that. I played for the Carolina Storm. Ooh, Carolina Storm. And I remember we again going to camps, playing some preseason games and shit, and then going to play semi-pro was a lot different. It was like a reality break. You had to tape yourself, no real insurance. And I remember seeing Super Nat get knocked out. What are you doing?
Mind my business.
When I saw Super Nat get knocked out, I was like, yeah, I don't know about this shit. Yeah, because Super Nat had played with Cincinnati. He had went to Central, North Carolina Central. Good guy, funny, really funny, fast. But when he got knocked out, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to risk everything. And we only making about, I think, it depended on the game. Some games we would bring home 500 apiece. Some games it'd be about 300 apiece. So it was like, yeah, for 300 apiece, I don't know if this is still worth it. I go old school, I believe. Nobody I spoke to at my age. Everyone old heads. Okay. You still in your pride. Still in his pride. I'm looking in these lights, can't see shit. He looked like a big lurch walking through there, lurch with long hair. I was giving him shit earlier. He was getting mad. Quit watching me. Quit talking to me. Just fucking with him. He's getting mad. But it was interesting watching the women's game. People just don't understand about Title IX. People don't understand the full benefit of Title IX since they highlight. And you got to really look at how it changed the people. It really changed people. And I know nobody else talks about that but me, but Title IX changed the way Americans look, especially European Americans. It made European American women more healthy, no doubt. Again, we went from Aunt B to what you see now, where everybody wearing jogger yoga pants. I mean, this is directly tied into Title IX. Women had more opportunities, and we're in 3 generations of this opportunity. So the women look different. And you have to look at Title IX as they telling you they recreated what their women look like. They really recreated what their women look like because a lot of women would have children and they would look like Aunt B. And I know that's an old reference, but if you look at how the European women look, and I know you can say, well, Marilyn Monroe, but I'm talking about the average woman look like Aunt B. You know, it was a portly little woman, you know, portly, wear a muumuu. Aunt B always wore a muumuu, you know, with an apron around it, pretty much. So it went away from that. Went away from that, where you see, you know, you look at what volleyball does, the workouts, and so you see a different type of person created. And I watched this. I've watched this. I've got friends now in their 60s, and they, you know, they may have had big boobs, but they was flat. European women just weren't shapely. Look back. Just look back. What did they have to do to be on Playboy? They had to get their boobs blowed up. Remember that? Playboy was about boobs. Hustler was about just showing pussy. You didn't have to have a fat ass to have that. You could get the fake boobs. Hustler showed just the pussy. You didn't have to have a fat ass to show your pussy. If you understand me. So even the early Playboys, you did not have what you see today. I mean, go back and look at them Playboys. Tell me what you think. Especially once the fake boobs came in. And you know, Hustler was so cutting edge because they showed pubic hairs, not just like it wasn't that they showed the pussy. They was like, damn, they're showing pubic hairs. I think the pussy's there too, but it was like everybody was tripping because the pubic hairs. But I'm like, to me, that looks like more pussy, and the pubic hairs is secondary. I'm seeing the pussy first and the pubic hairs second. Because I'd rather look at pussy than pubic hairs. And Hustler used to show the pussy lips in the clip, which is way more appealing than just seeing some pubic hairs. Hard hitting. Those GMOs got Euro white girls in the bubbles now. Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Hard hitting. They do. I mean, just look at the old Playboy. Right now, look, they got the thing where they fucking with, you know, Playboy and shit. You know, motherfucker dead. The family don't own the shit anymore. So they talking about it. And it's like, look at the women. Look at the women. And then look at him now. Look at the women, the difference in the women in the 70s. I mean, you didn't really see what you see now with the shapes, and probably when the Jane Fonda exercise tapes, you know, when the tapes came out, that's it, like the 80s and 90s, where, you know, the women look different. And today, the women look totally different. And you can't tell me it's not because of Title IX. And people, that is not going to be talked about. But that to me, that was one also. It's the trans and making the women look different. Making the women look different. And you've got to consider both of them if you look at the history of the people. Finding my dad's Hustler magazine set it off. We was getting blacktail. You know, when I was in third grade, I started living with my father, and my father got Playboy every month. And he he didn't even hide him. He put him in my room because when I wasn't living with him, that was just, you know, extra space. But when I lived with him, there they were. They were in my freaking room. Not sure they're crazy, but you know what I mean. Yeah, we know what you mean. White women have big butts now. One of the biggest butts I saw was a European woman with a ghetto butt. Of course, yeah. Full bush bras in the comeback. Full bush bras making a comeback. Now, you know, if you've got hair on your dick and the woman says she can't find your dick because there's so much hair, I don't know what to tell you, you know, because I pull my shit off and it's like it smacks her in the face. You know, it's like pull the pants off, she automatically gets smacked in the face. So if she's looking at your pubic hairs, there's something missing down there. How long have I been going? Okay, because I do got to get up early. Not too early, but I got to get up early enough. But I mean, it's made healthier people. No, can't say it didn't. It did. It absolutely did make healthier people, and that's got to be considered too. So it wasn't all, just for the look of it, and it helped our women. We can't say it didn't. But even like Aunt Esther was had a big butt, and even what was her name on Good Times? She had a big butt. For y'all younger people, Felicia on the Cosby Show, she had a big butt. So going back to Diane Carroll, she had a flat butt. But yeah, you can go back to the '80s mamas that y'all knew, and there were sisters, and dark Aunt Viv had a bubble butt, and so did light skin Aunt Viv. They both had bubble butts. The whole world distracted on the slap heard around the world. They call actors for a reason. Absolutely, absolutely, they absolutely are. Yep. So that's why we got to look at it as maybe kinda. Maybe kinda, maybe kinda. It might have happened, it might have not happened. I like the way he cussed him out though. That was a nice cuss out. Like, bitch, say it again. He ain't say it again, did he? He was like, say it again. That's what he was telling him. Say it one more again, and I think Will would have went back on the stage and accosted him. Don't accost me. It'd have been cooler if he pulled out some leather gloves and slapped him with the gloves like the Germans would do and shit. Slapped him with the gloves. Uh, uh, my first love was a black girl, Stacy. She broke my heart, man. Never again. I think the first time I fell in love, I was talking to my one of my I mentioned this last night. One of my high school girlfriends, and we wrestling around a little bit after high school. But there was a girl that I was so in love with in 10th grade. She was a senior named Sue McGrew. And one night, I was cool with a bunch of senior women. I was fine back then, just as damn near tall as I am now. So I just knew my best friend, one of my best high school best friends, was a senior. So I just knew a lot of women. And I sat with like the same senior girls all year. I sat with them all year. And I always talked about this other girl, how much I love her. So they knew I liked her. So they set it up. And remember, when I was in ninth grade, to get into clubs, you only had to be 18. They ain't card anybody. I mean, literally, they did not card anyone until my senior year. And even going in clubs my senior year, I ain't really had no problem. But I bought beer until I left to go to college. And they had already passed the law back my senior year. But nobody, they really didn't. They if you had money, they would just take it. But I looked big enough. But anyway, so Teresa, and rest in peace, Teresa Ezel, set up where we all went to the club. One of my friend's dad owned the club, so I'm up in the club. I'm like 15. I'm 15 up in the club with this 18-year-old. We dancing, we slow dancing. I mean, we just, and you talk about when I went home that day, that night, you talking about, I remember being in my front room. We had hardwood floors, so we had rugs. And I remember fucking laying on that rug. It felt like I was on a flying carpet. I just remember that feeling. I was so in love with her. Shit, she didn't never speak to me again. Like, literally, she never spoke to me again. And I was very good friends with her sister, because her sister, one of my friends got her sister pregnant. So her sister had to take an extra few classes. And so me and her sister had a lot of classes together. Her youngest sister was graduated with me, was a cheerleader. So I saw them all the time, spoke to both of them. Sue never talked to me again. She never talked to me after that. Plus the jeans wasn't even plus the joke wasn't even disrespectful. No, not really. It was a pretty simple joke. Will you post the throwback pic? Look at my original pic on the Final Four. I'll show a picture of me in high school. I'm wearing the Kalamazoo jersey. I got to get that jersey remade so I can wear something like that again. It fit my 10-year-old now. I'm 25, 6'4", 240, but I have a face of a 21-year-old. Okay, so you still get carded. I don't think my boy at 27 get carded anymore. He looked grown. First time slow dancing as a young buck was epic. uh, like the movie The Wood. Okay, okay. Never again would get your heart broken. Never again would you date. But yeah, Suma Grew. I love some Suma Grew. I peeped. He tensed his face up. Yeah, I did too. I peeped that too. So love and lose. My junior in college. Now I'm kind of a shy dude. I was pretty shy in some ways. And the girl I really wanted in college was a couple years older than me. And she cheerleaded. And again, I really have problems with social cues. I probably could have got in with her and I really didn't pick up the social cues. Because like I used to wear, and I know this is common now, but when I went to college, I had prescription white frame glasses. And what I had noticed is before the end of my freshman year, I had found a pair of glasses that were light blue, almost like the color it is, like blue, but like light blue. And I just noticed they was all tripping out down there. Like it was like I was a movie star motherfucker the way it reacted. So I come back the next year, I got white rim glasses where that shit wasn't sold down there. And it was almost like, I don't know, it made me like a superstar on campus. And we was winning and shit. And so that the chick I really liked that cheer with me, she asked to borrow my glasses one time. That kind of could have been an end, but it was like LL Cool J not wanting to take out the Kango. But I really probably should have let her have them, and it would gave me an excuse to go over to her room. So I kind of missed that. I missed out on that one, trying to be too cool. Exactly. To get his public masculinity points back up. Could have been two. You wore 51. Yeah, I wore 51. I wore 51. Like I said before, my grandmother was born in 1915. And so my high school basketball jersey was 51. At first it was 50 and 51. But my junior year, we switched to just odd numbers. So it's 51 for 2 years. And then my college number was 19. So the numbers kind of been ingrained around me. Nothing wrong with preference. uh, Shades. Everybody had a preference there. There were shades. And so, it was just like, social cues. I ended up taking the girl I wanted. And here's another story. Like, I had a pretty old girl from Charlotte, North Carolina, Patricia Johnson. And I mean, shit, oh my goodness, I dug her. And, we was traveling. So, it was like I would see her Monday, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then normally, Friday, I couldn't see her till the game was over. Especially if we played away. Some games when we rode the motherfucking bus. So we leaving Thursday. So, it was like that time between us and shit. And I don't know what happened. I took her out one night. She asked funky, but she has some good pussy. Oh my goodness. She was like, do you like it? Is it good? Do you want to keep? Oh shit. She was like, yeah. But she act funky. Did she act funky? I saw her the next day. Didn't talk to her after that. But the funny thing was, my future wife, like I broke up with her one day and I was like flirting with my future wife already. I would just see her say, go to the game, pay attention number 19. And then matter of fact, me and Patricia had went to a party. It was held in the cafeteria. And that was the first time seeing my future wife like dressed up. And like she kept looking over at me and I definitely kept looking. I was like, God damn, she got a nice little ass on her because she's only about 5'3". I was like, God damn, she's got a nice, because I really hadn't seen her like that. And she's looking at me like, all right, motherfucker, you got a girlfriend. The day I broke up with Patricia, I went over to start seeing my future wife. But this is the right on moment. So we're at graduation where both of them graduate. So this is 4 years later. This is like, 3 years later. This is 3 years later. We pass each other in the Greensboro Coliseum where you saw the one of the women's Final Four. I think where South Carolina won the regional. Greensboro Coliseum, same place. She sees us in the hallway, and I'm with her. I'm with my ex-wife and her family. And she gave me that look like, damn, he stayed with her. He might have stayed with me. But I remember that look she gave me. She gave me that look like I read her mind. She was like, damn, he stayed with her, which I did. It's 3 years later. I'm with her people. Not saying I wasn't an atomic dog, but that was kind of a victory, like, up your ass, bitch. But I'm sure she had a good life, you know. I ain't hating on her. I ain't hating on her. Light skinned girls. I can't help it, but I love all kinds of flavors. Like I tell everybody, I ain't got a type. I like them all. I like them all. Uh, but I've been how my life. I like Miss Chicks, but I tell you who likes me here. This is some odd shit. This is some odd shit. Here, sisters have always liked me because a lot of brothers here like European girls. That's kind of the thing here. So sisters, but I'll tell you who really likes me is African chicks. I don't get that shit. African chicks love me. As I told the story before, I was dating a girl from Liberia that won the lottery to come over here. But I have dated so many African chicks and I don't get it. I don't get why they like me, but African chicks really like me. So I've had to slap a couple African dudes because talking crazy, and I'm like, yeah, you watch too much TV, buddy. I gotta polish, and I hate Polish girls. Oh, I am Polish, and I hate Polish girls. I usually bag the light skinned girls who liked white boys. Nah, I just need a tall girl so I could get some athletes. Oh yeah. You know, as I said before, the boy's mom is 6'2". When I met her, she wasn't 6'2". When I met her, she was like 5'10". And she just kept growing, kept growing. Now shit, she's like 2 inches taller than me. But my shortest son with her is 6'4", 6'5", and then the baby is what, 6'7" now, damn near 6'6" and a half. The middle boy is 6'6", so but they got her. Other than our oldest together, other than him, them other two just ain't got the coordination. So that non-coordination she passed on to them too. But that's okay. Everybody's path ain't the same, you know. And I never pushed it. Now my daughter now is liking to play, got the basketball bug, so you know she's asking me. I'm showing her drill. She's like, show me another. And like even my son is 6'4", 6'5", he never had killer. He never, like when I used to go to gyms, I would, even until I quit playing, I would know I couldn't be stopped. I just knew no, I never really was stopped. I had one dude that played me the best ever at half court, and that was it. That was it. But other than my whole life, I never played a game where somebody just said they locked me down. Never. All the semi-pro games I played, all the money tournaments, I never got stopped. I mean, my skills were so unique where I was able to, and that's what, you know, being a wide receiver is about separation. So I could dribble a ball and get separation from a person. Matter of fact, I could damn near cut a football route while dribbling. I got proficient. I could make cuts that normal basketball players didn't make because I was used to running routes and making cuts. So in those regards, I had some unique skills. You had some giants. I am tall. Oh yeah. Oh, this babe, the young boy that lives with me, City, he's about 6'6" and a half. And my middle boy is about 6'6". Yeah, these are some big boys. My boys with her are big, but her shit, her dad is about 6'2". Her brother is 6'3", 6'4", about 320. Her brother's a big old dude. And her uncles was all 6 something. So, and there ain't really no other than her uncles, you know, I guess this is, you know, talking about different sides of the family, but her uncles, and it's like her mother's brothers are tall. And her mother was probably 5'6", 5'7". But when I met her, she kept getting taller and taller and taller. Look at Lonzo. He's 6 foot, but his boys are yeah. Is that I would have never thought that my boys got this tall, and shit, they are giants. Had that same conversation with my cousin's man. I never been stopped talking about you ain't met the right person. Nah, bro, I'm just skilled. You can't score. You sorry. Oh yeah, definitely. definitely. I told the story about my best friend, the suburban Marine, where I would go to the gym and tell these motherfuckers. Like I said, motherfucker tried to the DC dudes guarding me with goddamn polo shirts on. I would just destroy them dudes, and I was known as the DC Destroyer. And I mean, I talked about one dude so bad, I'm like, nigga, you guard me with that? And it was like everybody, I would point out, like, I hope you guard me wearing that bullshit. They would hoop with polo shirts on. And I would just sit there and laugh to myself. I'm like, motherfucker, you about to get destroyed. And yeah. Wes Matthews Sr., back to back with his ass. He wasn't getting by me. Definitely wasn't stopping me. That was fun. Playing against him was fun because he would push it up too. And he'd go through everybody. I'd be right there. And he'd throw that shit up high. And I'd come right back at his ass. My friend Tyrone. I told the story before with Tyrone. Tyrone 6'8". We would battle. It'd be like we would play one-on-one, but we'd have 4 other players. But we would go at it. We would go at it and make the games good. Make the games, fun. 6 foot. My grandpa was 6'9". My cousin is 6'8". Okay. Like some of my cousins, my one cousin was about 6'2", 6'3". A couple of them mugs, they was taller than me. They didn't have that leap in it. My uncle, my dad's brother, 6'5", but he didn't have that 47-inch vertical, and he didn't have my coordination either. Because I even put it on him. I put it on him. Even my 6'5" uncle put it on him. I had played a game, and me and my boy and my uncle. I told the story about my uncle. I idolized. It was my aunt's husband, but he was always been my uncle, and he played high school ball. And I remember seeing him. Then I've told this story before. When I learned he was my uncle, I was just so thrilled. And he's my cousins, both his boys. One teaches at Texas A&M. And the other one is I talk about all the time. He's a mayor of New York in the Nation of Islam. He played at DePaul. And both his boys is about 6'5". My aunt's, my first cousins, my aunt's children. But I remember I got him to hoop with me against my uncle. And I bugged him every day, and he worked third shift. And they had babies. I mean, my cousins were like probably 1 or 2 at the time, or 2 or 3. They was little boys. And I bugged him for a couple of days. And then the day he said he would hoop, I was like, "Is Uncle Johnny here?" He said you can wake him up. So I was like, "Oh, John, you still gonna play ball?" And what I learned later is niggas like playing with me too. So, when I came home, when I went down to my grandmother's, dudes wanted to play with me. And then we played against my uncle. And then at the end of the game, I scored like 4 or 5 straight points. And I just scored, and my uncle and his boy was getting tired. And he threw a lazy pass, and I intercepted it, went down, and did a spread eagle dunk. The spread eagle, not the opposite of Michael Jordan, not one leg in front of the other, but actually spread apart. You just take off and spread both legs open. Not the scissors like Michael Jordan, but like the Connie Hawkins, the spread eagle. And that won the game. And had a little girl waiting for me. And the little girl, not a little girl, she was young. I was probably 15. She was probably 15. But she walked to my grandmother's house. And then she waited for me. I said she waited for me while I took a bath. Because my grandmother didn't have a shower. And then she gave me some on my grandmother's couch. I said she gave me some on my grandmother's couch. But I made sure I wasn't funky. Took a bath, washed my ass so I wasn't funky. I am 6'2". I can dunk that rock though. One-handed, but dunking. No, I can't dunk. I ain't dunked since '88. No, you can still dunk. Oh shit, I ain't dunked since '88. Like you said, you was born. That was a lot because that was when I had my first meniscus surgery. Was '88, and after I went through the surgery, I came back too quick because it was like ball and making money. And I came back too quick, so I finished. I like quit playing, and I finished because I kept pulling my groin, and I broke my foot a couple times too. So it was all because my leg wasn't ready for surgery. So I went back to rehab and finally went through all the rehab. And after rehab, I was dunking again. I mean, and this was by that time, we're talking about probably fourth generation collapsible rims. Still a softer rim than what you see today, but yeah. Because I remember we was meeting with some other coaches, and he was like, they were talking about people on the team that could dunk, and they was like, shit, I got a coach that could dunk. And the other coach was like, you can still dunk? And by then I was like 28, 29. I was like, yeah, I can still dunk. And he's like, yeah, he dunked the other day and when we were practicing with the team. But I ain't dunked. And I said it then, I got like this much on the tip because I timed it perfectly and it was on the rim and I just happened to get enough for my tip to push it in. So I don't know if that's called a dunk. My friend was like, why didn't you dunk it? And I was like, well, that was the best I could do was get that tip on it. But I timed it perfectly where I just was able to like punch it back in, but only with a finger. Wasn't a full flush. So I don't know if that counted. That's what's up. I know a lot of 6'2" dudes who couldn't dunk. I've been 5'7" ever since Gray was grabbing the rim. Then got into fighting, acting fool. Like my daughter, at my daughter's age, I could touch it. Like my daughter's 10, and at 10, I could touch the net. At 10 years old, I could touch the net. Me too. I love a woman 6'1". Okay. So in fifth grade at 10, I could touch the net. At seventh grade, I could hang on the rim. And by ninth grade, before so it must have been 75 when I first dunked. I dunked in practice, and this was the dunk herd around Kalamazoo because nobody was dunking like that at that age. Especially shit, I was still probably only 5'11" as a freshman, and I dunked it. And I probably could have dunked the ball as a sophomore, and I just didn't. But I probably could have. I was like by myself, and I just laid it up. But I probably could have. And everybody thought I was going to be that I should have dunked, and I should have. I could have. But I dunked the first time in the game as a junior. 6'2" as well. Okay. 98, the last time I got up 2 years later, I got in an accident on the job that ended it. Yeah, when I tore it just, as I said before, one negative about sports is, and it hit me hard, and I'm not afraid to say this. This like it gave me like not making it gives you the greatest bout of depression. Like really, when everything and you're like a top athlete and you see you can compete with people and then it just don't happen. Do you know what that's hard to cope with? And I think for many years it took me to get over that. I mean, for a long time, it took me to get over that. It probably put me in one of my probably second time it put me in depression. But it's a hard thing to get over. And I went from weighing 175, running four fours, to gaining I ended up being like 250 within 6, 7 months. Didn't hoop, didn't do nothing. I just worked for the water department, drank 40s every night. And then one day I was like, I didn't really hoop to get paid. I love hooping. And so I bought with Jonathan Simmons a few games. Cool dude. Okay. Yeah. Be playing outside. You good, bro. Make sure you stretch out. Yeah, last time I played, I tore my Achilles, and I've been scared to play. And I don't think I'm ever play other than working out with my daughter. I play pickleball, though. I played Ryan Games, AAU team, 14, 15 group, and then fell off. Okay. But I think anything to take from sports is, it's a way to have a healthy lifestyle, no matter how you stay active. If you walk, no matter what you do, you know, just a healthy lifestyle. If you lift, you do yoga, no matter what you do, just do something that's healthy, eat healthy. I was watching some shit of Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick, and Tricky Dick is a motherfucker. I mean, he was one of the dirty tricks people of all time. But he said something interesting, a couple things like reading. He said he read every day for over an hour. He read books every day for over an hour. And I know a lot of times what I do, I wake up and drink coffee. I'll play somebody's video and I'll read at the same time. I mean, I just like my mind to stay active. So when I listen to videos, I'll read. And so I get in about a half hour, 45 minutes normally. Now, a lot of through the day, I'll research shit and pull books out and read a little bit of this and looking for something, of course. But the other thing was he was just saying walking, and walking, if you can walk, that's great too. Now, the thing I like about pickleball, it works a lot of, it will raise your heart level, and it will work. It's a lot of upper body work, a lot more than what you would realize. It really is nothing but arm work, lateral movements, quick lateral movements, and nothing but working with your arms. And so that's why I like it so much. As I said, I might have not torn my meniscus. I wrapped my leg a couple of days. It's feeling better. But again, I'm going to go buy a better brace or sleeve. And the weather's been funky up here. It's fucking cold up here. Like tonight, it's supposed to get like 15, 16 again. My room was freezing before because I went and hit my bong before I came out here. And my room was fucking freezing. I got my plants. I mean, I don't know if this is plant. No, this plant ain't in the shot. Let me see if I can. Yeah, see that big tree? That's a big corn tree. And I've got two other plants. So I don't want my plants to get too cold because, get too cold in here. The plants be like, fuck it. so I was no going outside. I played Miles Turner when he was. I went to Arlington and played Miles Garrett for Brown. He played. Okay. Okay. That's cool. That is real cool. Damn, you tore meniscus Achilles. You definitely wasn't supposed to play pro sports. Probably end up being a good thing. And it is. I didn't have to sell my soul. And that's the biggest thing. And, even when I look at my children, they didn't have to sell their soul because that's eventually what happens is that you have to sell your soul for it. Playing basketball. Okay, okay. I love hearing everybody's story. Everybody has amazing stories. Yeah, Garrett was playing. He was already 265. Whoa. I don't know another story, y'all, somebody who could dunk. Y'all probably remember this. Most of y'all young. Refrigerator Perry. Refrigerator Perry could dunk in college and high school, and he was 300 and something in. Refrigerator Perry. Because he's from where, I want to say around, I know Rob is from Union, but I want to say Refrigerator is from where Funk is from. And I can't think of where Funk was from. But yeah. And he had a brother play pro football. Refrigerator and his brother both played pro football. Both Perry boys went to Clemson. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I didn't tear my meniscus, but we'll see. It's feeling better today. I've had a wrap for 2 days. Kobe moved just alike. Miles Garrett and Kobe moved just alike. Yeah, because I heard somebody say that they, forgetting that Joe Bryant was older than Magic. Talk about Joe Bryant was supposed to be the next Magic. I'm like, who the fuck is you talking about? Joe Bryant was way older than Magic. Shit, Magic didn't graduate till 77. Joe Bryant probably graduated from college in 72, 73. I'd be surprised if he was any younger than that. I bet you looked up Kobe Bryant's daddy. He graduated in 72, 73. And Magic graduated in 77. But I tell you what, you look up the picture where Joe Bryant goes baseline on Kareem. That shit is sweet. He playing with the Sixers, and again, he wore the Jim Brown. He wearing 23. But he go baseline, and he pokes it on Kareem. I mean, he pokes it hard on Kareem. That's on, I think you can find that on, you say Miles get dunked. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Fridge was shit, 3-something. It was still dunking. Miles can still dunk. Okay. Gary, that's athletic. And most of that. Well, I'll say this. I don't know if they still do it, but the NFL used to have a winter league team where you would play winter leagues and they would play against each other. I know a lot of it, and I don't know if people, that aren't from LA realize this goes on too. There's a semi-pro league for actors. It would be football players, actors, singers. I'll tell you who was one of the best hoopers for a long time. McKnight, Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight was one of the best hoopers in that LA semi-pro league, but it was for actors. A matter of fact, you can catch pictures of Marvin Gaye, Jackie Jackson, that Michael Jackson's brother played in. So yeah, it's something that's went on for a long time. It's a semi-pro league for them, and a lot of football players play in that. Kobe Bryant, yeah, Kobe's daddy, Joe Bryant, Jelly Bean Bryant. Yeah, he can still dunk. Okay. Um, Refrigerator Perry was wrestling and was G.I. Joe character. He sure was. He sure was. But I mean, that year they won the Super Bowl. He was on everything. Just after all that, Will Smith gets Best Actor award, and the sheep didn't see it. These dudes in the same club and took the same. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, how many times do you get to bitch slap a motherfucker and then you still get an award for it? Well, the award for bitch slapping the mark goes to Will Smith, and we'll show it on the big screen. Will Smith got bitch slap of the year on the shit he did to Chris Rock. And not only that, he sit there and talk shit and dared him to say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Chris Rock was like, yeah, I'm not gonna say that again. You notice he didn't say it. He's like, it's just a joke, but he didn't say her name again. He's like, yeah, this nigga might fire on me again, might throw some bullets in my ass next time. Cussed him out like a little hoe. Uh, thank you, Smooth. That is so kind of you to say. Jada Smith still shamed him enough. That's right. Read my soul. What's happening? Yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm standing up to you, bitch. Keep my wife's name out my fucking mouth. Like that fucking put some fear in Chris Rock. Chris Rock didn't know what to say. He was looking around to the white folks, and the white folks was doing like the Europeans was doing like this. Hey, we can't help you with this. Wasn't no security or nothing. But usually it has security. At least when what was it the motherfucking name? When Maury having fight and shit, they had Steve and shit. There was no security for that. The security, all of it was like, hey, we staying out this shit. That's between y'all. Chris, you're gonna have to take the ass whooping. That's what the shit said. This earplug is like, Chris, you're gonna have to take the ass whooping. Chris was probably like mumbling, like, hey, I think this nigga about to do something. You're gonna have to take the ass whooping. Now, let's look at it like this. How many of y'all would have hit that motherfucker and he would have failed? I mean, really, how many of y'all would have hit his ass and he would have failed? I said, how many of y'all would have hit him and he would have failed? Because if I would have had that clean a shot, he would have fell down. He'd have took a knee at least. He didn't even take a knee. So he didn't. I would have knocked him down. It's like when you throw a baseball, like look at the statue of Joe Frazier when he hit Ali and drop Ali. That's the shit I would have did. My follow through would have damn near tripped over him. Or like when Jack Johnson knocked the motherfucker out and knocked 3 or 4 of his teeth out. It's like when I would have hit him, I would have hit him so hard that him falling down, I would have tripped over him. That's how Jack Johnson did. The motherfucker knocked Jack out. Jack was like, hey. Be Jack knocking me down, and Jack went after his ass, and Jack hit him so hard, knocked 3 of the dude's teeth out, and tripped over the motherfucker after knocking him out. And then you see Jack looking at his glove, and he doing like this, and he's brushing teeth out of the goddamn glove. That's how it would have been with me. You'd have saw some blood and spit follow. They'd have kept showing in slow motion, blood and spit, coming out his mouth. It's like he just smacked the shit out of me. That's a bitch. Like, nigga, please. No block or no duck or nothing. It's like, really? I'd have like, hey, he had the thing in his hand. I'm like, hey, you getting a little too close to personal space, That's what a G would have did. G would have been like, hey, you'd have been like, hey, not Chris. Chris just took it on the chin. Definitely scripted. It's crazy because they got still a little Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jay was looking concerned and Beyonce was smiling like the elevator incident. Yeah. He's not getting up. That's right. I'd have knocked the fuck out of him. I'd have been counting. The crowd would have been counting. I'd have been like, whoa, and the crowd would have picked it up by 9 and 10, and then looked over and said, you got knocked the fuck out. That would have got ratings. Anybody could fake a real good slap. But that would have been real movie like the shit. Hard hitting. What do you think that Jay-Z thing meant? I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it would have been a fucking TKO on his ass if I'd hit his ass. That shit, he went to sleep. Exactly. I'd have knocked the shit out of him. You know, I mean, he brought it back from Mississippi. You know, he had the full bring it back of, you know, it would have went like, y'all saw me, the shit would have been in slow motion. You'd have been like trying to speed it up. Like, what is he doing? And Chris wouldn't have been able to pull away. And by the time I hit him, you'd have seen his face do like this. Ooh, his face would have collapsed. Ooh. Yeah, and then you'd have saw him hesitate, and then the motherfucker would have just dropped straight down. That motherfucker would have been knocked out. Exactly. Read my song. Are you using sound effects? I can't hear them. Look like you pushing the buttons. Yeah, I'm using them. Maybe they ain't working tonight. Some nights I plug this shit in and the shit don't work. So I don't know. Maybe it don't. Well, I do got to get up early, and it's got to be later than the motherfucker here. Elevator incident. I heard a bunch of theories. I don't know. So let me give the divination, and then I got to jump off because I do got therapy in the morning where a woman is going to massage my foot for about 45 minutes. So I love it. All right. So if you want a little energy tomorrow, the energy is coming from the south, and the color is going to be yellow for tomorrow. The pronunciation of this card is Khan, which is for seed, corn, or iguana. The qualities: seed, seeding manifestation, self-germination, creation, fertile ground, gestation, opening, erupting possibilities, acting on inspiration, initiating creative ideas, developing confidence. Symbol: well-rooted, seeding, solar plex. The number is 4, measures and cycles. The color is yellow. Sunflower, the herb is sunflower petals or dandelions. The flower is yellow lily or buttercups. Oh, we used to eat buttercups when I was little. We'd suck the sweet out of them. Flower essence, bow tree, seed of enlightenment. Clover, saffron is the scent. Stone is citrine, golden calcite, tiger's eye, gold tiger's eye. It's a fire element. And again, as I mentioned, coming out of the south. The shadow wisdom is fear, feeling of security, limiting possibilities with routine, choosing to remain safe at the expense of awakening and growth and lack of confidence. But the way you can transform it is realize that you and your life are the fertile ground, that you awaken your dreams and possibilities. Free yourself from the illusion of safety. You enter into the manifestation of emerging possibilities. Harmonic wisdom is the progression. Let's see how much of the mantra I can do. So it says, hands cupped over each other at the solar plexus. So hands like this over the solar plexus. Okay, so pretty much the mantra is you keep your hands here, and it's like you're holding the seed, and then you kind of open and close your hands as the growing of the seed. So it's pretty simple mantra. You kind of have your hands like this, and then you kind of like you're holding the seed. Kind of cool. And meditation. I am the Buddha Mandela, the seed possibility of erupting. Affirmation. I am the fertile ground and the self-germinating seed of possibilities. So those of you that need the possibilities, it looks like the possibilities might hit for you. And so going right into the time walking, which is Mora. This comes from the Time Walking Papers. Some little bit that I can share. The ancestors don't seem to mind. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland and they knew that they had an exact number of years and days before they disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. We're talking about civilization builders. The civilization would build to a gentle love, mean completion. They would complete the civilization. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the Great Serpent. And the Great Serpent, according to the Time Walkers, is our Milky Way. And again, to all the watching me, that all are watching the future, to all my relations, to all my friends, you know, as Marco says, I'm a reflection of you. And therefore, I am another yourself. So treat me as the way you would treat yourself. And as you rest well on your Creation ball field, as they try to call a bed, as they try to call it a coffin. It's really a creation ball field. Rest well. And in closing, remember that love just is. It ends right there. Love just is. Can't add nothing to it. It ain't got an opposite. It just is. So thank you, all the Chocolate Mountaineers that hung with me this late hour. I appreciate it. And all the people that watch this in the future, I appreciate it. And applause to you all. Don't know if you can hear this, but applause to you all. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I'm your super funky hero, Big Pontiac. Oh, I will be on for the responsible. No, we're walking tomorrow. So maybe Tuesday, responsible daddy hour. May not come on tomorrow. Well, no, we got to go to the doctors. So not sure. Probably not. Probably not. Tuesday though, I think we're gonna have funky weather Tuesday, so we probably can't walk, but we're walking tomorrow. So and I like walking her to school. That's so fun to walk her to school. But anyway, until we meet again, say less.